record.
All right, thanks a lot. Hey, let's talk a little bit more about the Alabama legislature once again. Earlier, you heard Speaker of the House, Mike Hubbard, saying that a premium will be put on job creation in the first couple of weeks of the session. Several groups will promote a variety of reforms, including Reform Alabama. Bradley Byrne, you remember him. He ran for governor in 2012 or 2010. He is with Reform Alabama, and he joins us here in the studio today. I was throwing you into the governor's race already for 2012.
Not yet.
Let's talk for a moment about a variety of things. You heard from Dr. Bice earlier, superintendent of schools,
Right.
talking about charter schools.
Right.
You have an element with Reform Alabama that looks particularly at education reform.
Right.
Charter schools, is that the dominant message here?
It's not from our perspective.
Right.
Now, certainly that needs to be in the mix, and it's in our program, and we think it's important for the legislature to pass it. But most of our schools in Alabama, 90+% of our schools, even if we pass a charter school bill, will still be traditional public schools. So if we're going to move education forward in Alabama, we need to have a real focus on how can we improve the existing traditional public schools. One of the ideas that we found from Florida is that you give every school in the state of Alabama a single letter grade, A, B, C, D, E, F, so that every parent, every community leader, every citizen can look at their local school or schools and say, we have an A school or a B school or a C or D school. And what they found in Florida was, without putting anything else in there to do something about it, the pressure that built from local people on schools that were below that A and B level drove improvement in the schools. So that's one idea. That's a simple idea, doesn't cost any money, we think can make a big difference in Alabama.
A lot of folks will think about when the child comes home from school, if you get the A and B, you're very happy. When you start getting the C, or if you get the D, you start sitting down and you got to have a conversation.
Right.
Same idea here. How do you do this? A lot of folks will say, well, we do have the report card that comes out each year about the school system. Do you say that's too complicated?
It's way too complicated. And I was on the state school board when we first developed that, so I'm blaming myself on this. We created something that has a whole lot of information in it. I'm not saying do away with it, because if people want to go that far, we need to provide it to them. But for most people, it's just like everything else in your life. Give me the bottom line. Is the school good or mediocre or bad? And the letter grade gives you a clear understanding that everybody can look at and say, my local school's a good school and I feel good about it. Or my local school needs some help. And if that's the case, I want to get into it and make sure we do something about it.
When we go through the agenda that Reform Alabama has, one of the things that jumped out at me, you have economic growth and you want and incentive plans. That's going to be a priority at the beginning of the legislative session. We've heard this. First 2 weeks, we will see a lot of those bills come out. You bring up infrastructure.
Yeah.
You say that that's got to be a key part of all of this discussion. Yes. How so?
Well, you can't economically develop your state if you've got road problems. And we're sitting here in one of the epicenters of road problems in the Birmingham area. We've got to do something about 280.
A lot of folks will say, yeah, that's a great idea, but that costs a lot of money and we're in tough times.
We are in tough times. But in tough times, you've got to prioritize where you spend your dollars. You've got to understand where those dollars need to be spent that are going to help you grow economically. And we know, I do a lot of economic development work now, we know that infrastructure has a tremendous impact on our ability to economically develop our state. I'm working on a project right now, and the transportation part of it is the key link that we're missing as we compete with another state. And we're digging like crazy trying to figure out a way to solve that infrastructure part, because if we do, we get the project. If we don't, we lose it. So that just dramatically makes it clear to me that we've got to come up with a different way of governing our transportation department in Alabama, how we actually staff and farm out that work, and how we prioritize our projects. And only then do you start talking about, all right, are we adequately or appropriately funding that program?
Look forward to talking to you again in the future. Alabama legislature returns to work tomorrow. It's good to see you.
Thank you, Rick.
Bradley Byrne with Reform Alabama. Let's go to JJ now.